Hi, everybody. Welcome to Wind Down Wednesdays with Christina. Hope you're having a great week. I can't complain. I'm doing pretty well. It's gloomy outside. I don't know what's going on with that, but this is Denver weather. Y'all, I am so ready. Can I just say, I'm so ready for daylight savings time and for spring to come through. I need spring to come through because these spring starts are not working for me. I've never been one to enjoy the spring forward, like the time change. I prefer to keep my hour of sleep. So can I tell you that this Sunday, March the 12th, we're springing forward. And so really want to have that extra light so I can go outside and walk Pee-wee and go in my garden. So I'm super excited about that. All right, let's get after it. So today we're going to just talk about, just a little bit. We're going to talk about the Netflix special with Chrisrock. So a lot of my YouTube feed and things that were coming up were like people commenting on Chrisrock, and they were showing certain segments, and they were only showing a segment of him, of course, with Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith and whole slap. I'm going to take a different approach on this because a lot of people are talking about it from he's a comedian, excuse me, but I also want to put out there that he's also an Aquarian. So I want to do a breakdown. I thought it'd be fun to do a breakdown from an Aquarian perspective. You know, Aquarian to me is the best zodiac. That's my bias because I'm an Aquarius. Love all things Aquarian. Love that energy. So I want to break it down with my opinion of his performance, like through an Aquarian. And if you are an Aquarian, please put a comment or whatever Instagram lets you do. So, or social media. So when I first got a couple of the feeds, of course, they were showing the segment, and it leads you to believe, of course, that the whole thing was talking about this. So it was an hour, right? So I go on Netflix and I watch it, and it's about an hour and 10 minutes, I think. So it's really short comedy show. One of the comments that a lot of people that I kind of were reading and other comments on some of the videos, didn't quite listen to the videos, but read some of the comments, were people what took him so long? And other people were saying oh, he had to get, his material together. And, well, maybe he was just so angry and this, that, and the third. And so as I'm watching the comedy show, as an Aquarian, I just have to say, he probably had his jokes ready a week to a month after the slap. Let me just say that. It wasn't a question of knowing what he wanted to say, I think, or how he was going to say it. Because when an Aquarian, those of you who have Aquarian friends or know people who are Aquarians, it takes a lot to get us angry. And even in some of the low-down stuff you do, such as a slap in the face on national or global television, they're still going back and looking at the pros and the cons and what's this mean and from that humanitarian standpoint. So it takes a lot to get an Aquarian angry. But when an Aquarian gets angry, they are going to cut you down. And they are not going to cut you down with physical violence or intimidation. They are going to straight up cut you down with words. And so what was hilarious to me was that Chrisrock had an hour and 10 minute show and cut down that whole situation in the last 8 minutes of it was 8:06 when I timestamped it. The last 8 minutes. And the other part of that, he spoke it like a true Aquarian. And he also told the truth. That's what really kind of upsets people at times, because an Aquarian is not going to come at you with opinions and yelling and all that. They're going to come with you with straight facts, pulling in, peeking through your door and looking at the holes that you have and call you out on that. And that's what took that to a whole nother level. So while he, was going off on the surface and, saying what he spoke, it was not a mistruth. It was accurate. It was an accurate perception of how it all started, how this beef between them kind of started, what led to that slap, and his opinion, of course, on something that we know is factual. We know that there was whatever happened between their relationship. I don't like to get in people's relationship too tough. And at the same time, you posting it for everybody to see. That's a fact. We all know what happened on Red Table Talk and all that kind of stuff. So I think the way that he did it was in rare Aquarian form, was perfect. Chef's kiss. Like, it was amazing. And so I think his jokes, like, he had good jokes. I laughed throughout. Most of the time with Chrisrock, for me, it's not necessarily all the time his joke itself, but it's his delivery. I don't like to put people in categories with other people, but I had some belly rolls and some laughs, and you know, it was good. I also think what was interesting from an Aquarian perspective was kind of the absurdity of it all. So as I'm watching Chrisrock, there was a lot of, I can't believe I'm having to talk to y'all, still having to talk about, I can't believe it happened. Can't believe it's a year now and we still talking about it. I can't believe that y'all want me to talk about it. And I can't believe that y'all came here, or what would have been through my mind. I can't believe that y'all came to my show to hear me talk about it. As a, you know, so in my mind, it was kind of like, are y'all here because Chrisrock? Are y'all here because of the Chrisrock who got slapped? And you want me to hear me talk about that for an hour? So the name of the special was called Selective Outrage, which I thought was quite fitting. And, you know, his jokes were rooted around, you know, our mindset and society and how we want to be famous and what we do to be famous. And we can be outraged over here with group A or person A, but we don't, the rules don't apply to person B, and how, you know, so he kind of, to me, played out the hypocrisy of it all. And at the same time, as an Aquarian, as he's talking about people, right, and talking about the absurdity of people, after a while, it became like we were the butt of the jokes. Like, we were his punchline. And so it was like another middle finger to, the people in the situation that happened at the Oscars, but also a middle finger to you all, because you don't really know what you're going after. You don't know what you want anyway. Like, so in that, I was like, okay, I'm feeling it. I get what you're saying, and it is a truth there. Aquarians like to live in truths, where we like absolute universal truths. And so there was a lot of truth being told under his jokes and his delivery, as with all comedians. But I think through an Aquarian humanitarian type perspective, the absurdity of it all. And he was honest. He was like, yeah, it hurt like hell. Like, why would you think it wouldn't hurt? It would hurt. But this also shows me the compassion that he had as an Aquarian. Because he did also say, even though, yes, the slap hurt like hell to me, what that man's going through with his relationship hurts him more than a slap will ever hurt me. That takes a unique person perspective to say something like that, right? Because people just want him to be mad and slap back and cancel. He said, you know, he said he even tried to call Will Smith after it happened and got no answer. And I remember some interview that Will Smith did where he said he had reached out to Chrisrock, and Chrisrock was like, he's not ready to talk about it. I also want to give kudos to Chrisrock for the fact that he took his power back. He said, I'm not a victim. Yes, this happened to me. People may feel some type of, you know, way about it, about, you know, him or Will Smith or whatever. He said, but I'm not a victim. He said, I took it like a man. At the end of the day, he took it like a man, and he responded in a way that a man would, one of the ways a man would respond. And immediately we want to go to, like, you know, two black men fighting. No, he handled it with words. He articulated and spoke truth to power. And that's how an Aquarius is going to leave you, to the point of you like, damn, there's nothing, I can't say nothing about that. I'm gonna have to eat that frog. Yes, you will. Like, they can't respond. What can they say to what he spoke on and mind you, the last 8 minutes, he said all he needed to say and ended it with a period. I'm done. So I think that was spoken like a true Aquarian. I would love to hear you all's thoughts on that. Also, I would love to hear about you. Like last week's question, someone reached out and said, like, who the heck are you? And so I want to know, who the heck are you? So You can write me, you can message me, you can email me. My email is unlearnthis@gmail.com. I'll put it in the description. That's it for this talk today because we're at 10 minutes. Hope you all have a great rest of the week. This Friday, just be on the lookout for my Happy Friday message, which I think will be good. Love you all. Have a great rest of your week and live your life first class.